You're watching ABC7 News at 11.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Jacqueline Matter. Topping our news tonight, Sarasota County's bus service, SCAT, may be facing the budget axe. County commissioners have asked SCAT leaders to look into making nearly $1 million in cuts. ABC7's Christopher Brantley gives us some insight into what this may mean for the hundreds of passengers who rely on the service.
Good evening. Local SCAT riders could feel the impact of these cuts as several routes could be eliminated.
It's everything to me because it provides the opportunity to do food shopping 3 times a week.
Whether it's a run to Publix or a doctor's visit, Barry Zamoff is perhaps SCAT's most dedicated rider.
I have very severe glaucoma. I'm totally blind in one eye and I have about 60% vision in the other eye.
Driving isn't an option for Zamoff, so he was very upset to learn one of the routes he uses regularly, Route 13 through South Venice, could be eliminated. In a time of tight budget cuts, Sarasota County commissioners are looking to SCAT to cut nearly $1 billion. That means routes and perhaps up to 16 drivers. We spoke by phone to County Commissioner Nancy Dietert, who told us public transportation doesn't pay for itself, and thus they have to find a way to cut back on some of the routes that they deem to have low ridership.
Of course, there are going to be some routes that have lower ridership than other routes, but that's the wrong way to approach it.
Zamoff's Route 13 is estimated to have around 60 riders per day. So he asks, why not use smaller buses?
Smaller buses would use less fuel, would be safer to drive, would be more economical. Why not explore savings in that arena?
Zamoff also suggests an aggressive campaign for struggling routes to make them more popular. Now, we wanted to speak to SCAT for this story, however, they were unavailable. In Venice, Christopher Brantley, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Okay, thank you so much, Christopher. And speaking of public transportation, Sarasota and Manatee area transit drivers are getting ready to rev their engines this weekend. The annual rodeo is this Sunday. The event pits operators against each other in a series of competitions around a test road course set up with cones, barrels, and bus stops. The competitions will test each operator's ability to negotiate tight turns, to operate transit buses backwards, and stop within 6 inches of a fixed object. The fun all starts at 8 a.m. on Sunday at the Manatee County Transit Fleet Facility on Talavast Road off of U.S. Highway 301. That competition is free and open to the public. Well, it's been a rough year so far for one Sarasota County Sheriff's deputy, but thanks to the goodwill of a local business, things are getting a bit easier. Corrections Deputy Anna Ferguson and her family lost everything in a devastating house fire in January. Fire officials believe the fire started in the children's bedroom and may have been caused by an electrical issue. The sheriff's office and the community have since been helping Anna and her family, but for weeks she's had to drive past that damaged structure. But not anymore. Today, the Sheriff's Department awarding A+ environmental restoration owner J.C. DeRiso a certificate of appreciation for pulling a permit and demolishing what was left of the Ferguson home before bringing in a dump truck and removing that structure. An act DeRiso said was simply the right thing to do. Well, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan for a look at our first alert forecast. How is it, Bob?
Jacqueline, pretty nice, warm out there right now. 70 at this hour, which is well above average for this time of night. Dew point temperature high too at 65. Have an east wind at 8, and the pressure still remains very high, 30-21. And that high pressure ridge is the reason why we're seeing such warm temperatures. Today's highs were record breaking in some cases here along west central Florida. And we're looking at just a few brief showers possible again tomorrow afternoon and evening, but not a lot of rainfall going on at this point. Although this looks ominous down to our south, it is some military exercises going on down there. But live sweep of the radar, not depicting any rainfall around. But the heat of the day was so warm and just enough moisture in the low levels of the atmosphere, allowing for a few spotty showers to pop up here and there. We'll see similar conditions again tomorrow. 59, though, cooler in Tallahassee, Jacksonville, 62, 70 here, and 76 now in Key West and in Miami. Well, we have that high cloudiness streaming overhead. There is a storm system developing to the west of us now. Right here, south of New Orleans, you start to see a flare-up of storms, a little piece of energy in the atmosphere right there. It doesn't appear it's going to have much of an impact on our weather over the weekend. We'll have the details on that weekend weather coming up in just a few minutes. Jacqueline.
Okay, thank you, Bob. With hurricane season just 17 weeks away, Sarasota County is getting some tips on how to better respond to storms like Irma. After months of research, former FEMA Director Craig Fugate met with county stakeholders today to share the draft of his Hurricane Irma After Action Review. He suggests the county make evacuation zones more clear. Don't use letters and numbers to indicate who should evacuate. Instead, the community should be told which keys and neighborhoods are most in danger. Also, Fugate suggests making all shelters pet-friendly. And instead of opening shelters as they're needed, open all shelters immediately and then close them if they are not needed.
We'd open up a couple of shelters, they'd fill up. Now we got to go back and tell people other shelters are opening up. Yet they only heard the first message, and you got people showing up, shelter's already full. Now where do I go?
What Fugate presented today is just a draft of the post-Hurricane Irma review. That final proposal will be made to County Commission on March 14th. A bit of relief is on the way for Florida fisheries. Today, federal officials declaring catastrophic fishery disasters for areas affected by Hurricanes Irma and Maria last fall. Because of that declaration, businesses affected are now eligible for Small Business Administration disaster loans. And because these fisheries are in areas where the president has declared a natural disaster, public fishery infrastructure related losses are eligible for federal emergency money. Florida legislators can expect a one-time boost in money in the aftermath of Hurricane Irma. That's according to new forecasts prepared by state economists. They concluded that the state's main budget account will grow over 5% during this fiscal year and over 4% in the 2018-19 fiscal year. Tax collections are also expected to go up because of rebuilding efforts. The new forecasts mean legislators have nearly $500 million to spend in the coming year, which could be used for one-time expenses or tax cuts. 3 candidates are fighting to represent District 72 in the Florida House, and the numbers so far from early voting are already in. The Sarasota County Supervisor of Elections reporting a 21.18% voter turnout. That's over 25,000 early voting and vote-by-mail ballots out of 122,615 registered voters in the district. Democrat Margaret Good, Republican James Buchanan, and Libertarian Allison Foxall are all fighting for Alex Miller's seat in the State House after the lawmaker resigned back in August. State and national politicians are now stepping in to get their own stamp of approval, in former U.S. Vice President Joe Biden announcing his endorsement for Good. Florida Governor Rick Scott and U.S. Senator Marco Rubio say they endorse Buchanan, and local newspaper The Observer announcing its support and endorsement for Foxall. Sarasota County Supervisor of Elections Ron Turner says that brings a lot of interest to this election.
These special elections take on a certain type of focus because it's the only ones that are occurring before you get to the regularly scheduled election.
If Margaret Good is able to pull off a victory, I think you'll probably see certainly statewide, but maybe even some national coverage.
Even after Election Day, the attention on House District 72 seat is far from over. The winner will only serve a 9-month term and will not catch a break before the general election in November. Amid a domestic abuse scandal in Washington, President Trump speaking out today, addressing the accusations being made against one of his closest aides, Rob Porter. Porter resigned from the White House earlier this week, and now the rest of the White House staff are in the spotlight. ABC News' Tara Palmieri explains.
President Trump defended his former top aide Rob Porter, who resigned as staff secretary yesterday after allegations of spousal abuse by 2 ex-wives became public. President Trump wished him well, despite evidence of domestic violence, including photos and a police report.
He said very strongly yesterday that he's innocent. So you'll have to talk to him about that, but we absolutely wish him well.
The president made no mention of the women accusing Porter of domestic abuse, but instead commented on Porter's state of mind.
He's also very sad.
Last night, Chief of Staff John Kelly under fire about what he knew and when he knew it. Earlier this week, Kelly called Porter a man of true integrity and honor. But after a photo surfaced of Porter's first ex-wife with a black eye, Kelly distanced himself. ABC News has learned that the president is furious over how the crisis was handled. So much so that he's considering replacing his chief of staff. In the past 24 hours, sources say Kelly signaled that he's willing to resign over it. But a White House spokesperson denied that and said that Kelly is here to stay. Porter's second ex-wife, Jenny Willoughby, suggests that the White House may have known all along. She said that she told the FBI everything.
And I was very candid and frank and detailed with them about my marriage.
There are now questions over how Rob Porter was able to do his duty as staff secretary with only an interim security clearance. The White House says the FBI is looking into it, but he's not the only White House staffer with a temporary security clearance. Our sources tell us that the president's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, is also using an interim security clearance. Tara Palmieri, ABC News, Washington.
And tonight, a second White House aide, speechwriter David Sorensen, is also resigning. Sorensen is accused of violence and emotional abuse towards his former wife. He denies those claims, saying she was the one who hit him. Stay with us. Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with the first alert forecast, plus how scientists are using technology and other mosquitoes to fight the Zika virus here in Florida, and a push for the message "In God We Trust" to be displayed at all public schools across the state.
Our overall experience working with California Closets was phenomenal.
Calm, reassuring.
Through happenstance, we ended up paired with our designer, Jen. She was someone who not only was patient, someone who was professional. She's become extended family.
She had great insight to help direct me towards those things that could make our dreams come true.
We are the Greens, and this is our California Closet story.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard live up to a set of time-honored principles.
I will always place the mission first.
They stand ready to respond to any crisis.
I will never accept defeat.
They serve in their communities as citizens and as soldiers.
I will never quit.
They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times.
I will never leave a fallen comrade.
Learn more at nationalguard.com.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
I just had a very educational ride with Nina.
Did you learn anything?
Where do I begin? So all this stuff goes into a safety check.
Yep.
It's a long list.
It's important stuff.
Test the smoke detector.
Yep.
Check the breaker box.
Yep.
Meter the GFCIs.
Ground fault circuit interrupters.
Why do that?
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Nina, you make it look easy.
Thanks, but don't do it yourself.
Who's your guy?
The 9th annual Tidewell Hospice Signature Luncheon was held today in Sarasota. ABC7's very own Marla Spence emceeing that event today, which benefits the local hospice provider. Will Reeve, the director of the Reeve Foundation Champions Committee and an ESPN broadcaster, was the keynote speaker today. He's also the son of Christopher Reeve, the actor who played Superman. Reeve shared his story of witnessing his mother serve as a caregiver to his father after he became paralyzed when Will was just 3 years old.
The daily determination that my parents had to be not only the best partners for each other and best parents for me, but also the best people that they could be publicly and try to change the world in their small but ultimately very significant ways stuck with me. And I think that the importance of being in something together and relying on a community of people and the compassion of others is hugely important.
Reeve lost both his parents, leaving him an orphan at 13. Now he works to improve the quality of life for those suffering from spinal cord injuries and to offer support and resources to help their caregivers. Mosquitoes are a year-round downside to living here in Florida, but now millions of bacteria-infected mosquitoes are being hailed as an innovation that may kill off more bugs that spread Zika and other viruses. In Miami-Dade County today, a Mosquito Control and Habitat Management Division releasing non-biting male mosquitoes. These mosquitoes are infected with naturally occurring bacteria that, once mated, will prevent any offspring from surviving to adulthood. Well, Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan joining us back from Circus Sarasota. Seemed like a great event tonight.
Yeah, oh yeah, a lot of applause. People were there, and Linda Carson was the guest ringmaster. Right. Yeah, she did a great job too. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Well, what does our forecast look like for the weather for the weekend ahead?
It looks pretty good. Really, we're looking at some nice weather, warm temperatures like it was today. Beautiful shot here. Wendy Harris, Siesta Key, getting this great photo of the sun going down and the birds flying around. We had some high cirrus clouds moving in and a few brief showers earlier today, but nothing to really rain things out. And this one from Linda, who always sends photos in from Venice Beach, and you can see some of those high clouds there creating some nice looking shots right there. Van Way's a webcam review showing pretty calm conditions out on the waters too. If you're planning on boating this weekend, should not be a problem. It looks to be pretty nice out there. As far as weather headlines, they read like this. We'll have some morning fog. That'll be our biggest problem, I think, over the upcoming days. Just a little morning fog. Maybe a brief shower late in the afternoon. Most of that will be inland, and we won't see a whole lot of it. And then near record high temperatures. Highs today were near record highs here. We had a record high in Tampa, and it looks as though we will see, as I said, only a slight chance at about 20% for a passing shower or two over the upcoming days, right through Monday of next week. And as far as our weather is concerned right now, we have some of those high clouds moving overhead. A lot of rain to the north near Atlanta and also off the coast of the Carolinas tonight. And some showers well to the west of us there near New Orleans and also into Houston. As the storm system gathers there, it will eventually travel off to the northeast and stay away from us. We're not looking at much going on here as far as any kind of significant storms moving in. As I mentioned, a brief shower here and there, not out of the question. I think the only downside will be some low clouds and fog tomorrow, although we'll see a mixture of sun and clouds that will allow the temperatures to soar into the mid-80s with that heavier rainfall staying up into Alabama, Mississippi, and over the panhandle of Florida. Currently, it's 70, it's clear, the dew point way up there, and winds are out of the east at 8. The pressure 30-21. That is high. That continues to rise at this hour. The high today managed to get to 84 degrees. 73 is the normal high for this time of year. We were 2 degrees shy of the record, which is 86, and 62 degrees now in Jacksonville. It's 69 degrees in Orlando, 76 in Miami, 76 into Key West, and temperatures right now near the coast into the low 70s at 67-degree water temperature, 71 into Arcadia, and they'll be up to around 85 tomorrow, 85 for a high tomorrow in some inland areas as a result of the wind out of the south and southeast. You'll notice that humidity is starting to come up too as a result of that southeasterly component. Highs tomorrow in the low 80s, even near the coast, under partly cloudy skies throughout much of the day. Well, nationally, there's a couple of quick-hitting storms that are moving through. One earlier today moved through parts of Ohio and Indiana and southern portions of Michigan. That has now shifted all the way over to the northeast. There's another one behind it, too, now moving through Idaho. And you can see that snow still occurring near Toledo. So flurries there. Not a lot of heavy snow right now, but there's the winter storm warnings in effect for Iowa, even parts of Missouri down into Oklahoma. And then that will spread off to the northeast over the weekend. You'll see that rain staying to our north tomorrow, even on Sunday. Some showers there over Georgia. There's the snow moving back into Michigan and northern Indiana, Illinois, and Ohio. Well, for boaters tomorrow, be careful out there. Some fog will be around. Winds will be out of the southeast, switching to the south at 5 to 10 knots. Seas running 1 to 2 feet. And the water temperature now warming up, 67 degrees. A little bit too cold for me right now, but still getting a little bit warmer. There's the rain chance, only at 20% over the upcoming days here, but look at the high temperatures all the way through early next week and then even into Friday of next week. High temperature 80 degrees. As I said, the only downfall will be the fog developing, and it could be rather thick on Sunday and Monday morning. Jacqueline?
Okay, thank you so much, Bob. The legislation that would require the message "In God We Trust" to be displayed at all public schools in Florida is moving forward. Next, it goes to the full House of Representatives for debate. Currently, "In God We Trust" is included in state law as Florida's official motto. That bill would require school boards to adapt rules ensuring that the motto be displayed in a conspicuous place in each school. Opposition to the proposal, however, say some school districts may not be able to afford to properly display the motto.
I'm concerned that if we put an unfunded mandate to display our motto in the schools with the amount of funding we have now, that there may not be the funds to give it the respect it deserves.
I don't have a problem standing for something that's been the foundation. It's the symbol of our nation, the symbol of our state. And this is not communist China. This is America.
Bill supporters say the cost to create a display would only be minimal and fit well within a school district's budget. An identical bill filed in the state Senate has yet to be heard by any committee. Stay with us. Sports is next, but first, here's what's coming up on Jimmy Kimmel.
We've got an animal-packed show tonight.
You're gonna show it to him?
Uh-huh. He'll eat that big piece of meat.
Come here.
Oh, he would easily eat my hand.
Here, now, you do it.
Oh, no, just give it to him.
Here, come here.
My name is Stephen Campagna. We're Ben Gates and Dramus, and here is your law tip of the week. If you've been injured in an accident, whether or not it's your fault, your insurance company might be responsible for some of your expenses. So give us a call. We've got your back.
We all love our kids and want what's best for them. You have the power to help your kids learn to succeed in life every day. When you promote a love for learning at home, children build the skills they need to be ready for school. You can be their everyday hero. It's easy. Just text Everyday Hero to 77453 for simple learning tips.
Rugs as Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Everybody can make something, because I think everyone has a spark of creativity, and the reason that I have to keep making is because I don't think my life would be as fulfilling without it. If you make things yourself, that means you're not cowering in fear. You're out there taking chances. That, I think, is my way of saying I love you to the world. All right, now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
Thanks to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, what was once impossible is happening today for thousands of patients with blood cancer.
I live.
I live. I live. I live. I live. She lives.
Because of the research done by the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society in the battle against blood cancer.
If you had a chance to support the research that is saving lives, what would you do?
I just need a second.
Is your weight holding you back and affecting your health?
Did you see this? Your cousin had a heart attack.
Really?
Excess weight or obesity can be serious, but you can do something about it. Visit yourweightmatters.org. Download the free toolkit to prepare you to speak with a healthcare provider. Your weight does matter. Accept the challenge and take charge today. Visit yourweightmatters.org.
Now, sports.
Well, it's official. The owner of the Tampa Bay Rays baseball team wants to make a historic neighborhood in the city of Tampa the team's next home. Stuart Sternberg saying at a news conference today that the team would focus its new ballpark search on a 14-acre site in Ybor City that sits just north of Ybor Channel. It's the first time the team has publicly stated its preference for Tampa over St. Petersburg, its home for more than 20 years. But besides the stadium's location, another concern is money, especially with the new ballpark likely to cost more than $700 million.
So we're going to have to be creative in terms of how this gets financed, if it works. But I also think we need to understand at the end of this, we need to be ready to walk away if it doesn't work.
The timeline of such a project is unclear. And spring training gets underway next week here on the Suncoast. The Pirates will be celebrating 50 years in Bradenton when workouts begin on Wednesday. And both the Orioles and Rays will begin workouts on Valentine's Day as well. Exhibition games get started 2 weeks from today. And a Super Bowl champion will be on the Suncoast next week. Philadelphia Eagles tight end Trey Burton will be in Venice on Tuesday, February 13th at Bogey's Restaurant. The Venice High graduate is holding a meet and greet to thank the Suncoast community for all of the support he has received. That meet and greet will take place from 7 until 9 p.m. Bogey's Restaurant is located on East Venice Avenue and sure to be a great turnout there. That's a look at sports. We'll have tonight's winning lotto numbers when we come back.
My California Closets designer is a rock star. She was able to design the most beautiful space for me. When I turn the lights on, it's breathtaking. It's just a little slice of organized heaven. The California Closet team was so professional, so reliable. It was seriously a dream come true. My name is Jill, and this is my California Closet story.
Rose takes her volunteering for Tidewell Hospice very seriously. But she knows how to have fun, too. And that's what she brings when we're invited to visit patients as part of Tidewell's pet therapy program. People love to see her. She really brightens their day. She makes people smile. And in end-of-life care, a smile can be a wonderful gift. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
It's Greek time! February 8th through the 11th at the 34th Annual St. Barbara Greek Festival. Bring your family and friends. Treat yourself to authentic Greek home cooking and pastries. Plus, dance to traditional Greek music. Visit a marketplace filled with crafts and jewelry from local artisans. Children will enjoy the kids zone and everyone will have a good time. Bring your appetites and spend a day in Greece without leaving the area. The Greek Festival at St. Barbara Greek Orthodox Church just north of University Parkway, where Lockwood and Talevast roads meet. Yasu!
Alex Karras Lincoln's 40th anniversary sale. Drive a brand new 2018 Lincoln MKC for $279 per month or the Lincoln MKZ for $299 per month. We have a great selection of certified pre-owned Lincolns. These vehicles have warranties up to 100,000 miles and come with complimentary roadside assistance. Alex Karras Lincoln, where our mission statement is consistent commitment. Every client, every time. Located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help. With Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
ABC7, your official Florida lottery station for the Suncoast. The Florida Lottery winning numbers are sponsored by Frontier Fios.
More than 20 years after the blockbuster Titanic was released, an exhibit capturing the love of Rose and Jack just opened. That exhibit at the Biltmore Estate in Asheville, North Carolina, shows off more than 50 costumes from the blockbuster throughout the house. Biltmore representatives say this is the first large-scale exhibit of the costumes, and a lot of work went into making it happen.
From the very initial concept to now, it's taken about 2 years. We have more than 600 objects from the production in the exhibition, and so mounting them has taken months and months. We've had a team of 2 amazing people working just on the mounting of these costumes since May.
And taking a page from Celine Dion's Heart, the exhibit will go on at least until the late spring. I absolutely love this. Titanic and the Biltmore, 2 great, I love both of them.
Yeah, they're good. Been up to the Biltmore up in Asheville. It's very beautiful up there. A nice winery up there. I remember many years getting a bottle of wine from the Biltmore. We're looking at great weather for the weekend. Things looking good. Here's the planner for tomorrow. Looks good. Just a few clouds now and again. Temperatures very warm.
Okay, thank you so much, Bob, and thank you all for joining us. Have a great night and a wonderful weekend.